We're down at Roy Frost's in Pell City. Roy, welcome to Big Boyz Toys. Like I've been telling y'all, 31 Fords, look at here. All of them you'd ever want to look at. Tons of them. You don't want to go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Big Boyz Toys. Tonight, your host Barry Miller will bring you the sleekest, trimmest automobiles from around the area that have been beautifully restored. If you love streamlined, full-force race cams, then this show is for you. So sit back, but don't get too relaxed. This is Big Boyz Toys.
So you want the best deal on a pre-owned automobile? Ron Newton does it again. Announcing the car, truck, and SUV summer sell-off. Record Sales has brought in a huge selection of late model trade-ins inspected by Ron Newton himself before they're ever put on the lot. Make an offer on the best selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Ron Newton's summer sell-off is only for a limited time at Ron Newton Used Cars, top of the hill, Quintard, Anniston.
'31 Ford Model A, we're on the inside now. We're down at Roy Frost's in Pell City. Roy, welcome to Big Boyz Toys. Like I've been telling y'all, 31 Fords, look at here. All of them you'd ever want to look at. Tell me about this one, Roy.
31 Roadster, it's all original sheet metal. Bought it in Memphis and about 15 years ago, I guess. Restored it, and it hadn't been anywhere. It's got a couple hundred miles on it.
Do people call you on these A models or what?
Quite a few. I get a lot of calls and a lot of friends coming around.
I reckon they call you the A model. I mean, if it's one, because a lot of these you're getting them out of Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama. So it's hard to say you're going to ride around the roads and find all these cars.
The cars are everywhere. People that fool with them know where they are. I've been in it so long, and everybody knows I mess with them, and they'll call you one and sell you one.
Do you ever find them out like in an old barn or old building and people don't know what they got? Or just think it's an old piece of junk clunker, they don't want it?
Not anymore. Used to back in the 60s and 70s. A little bit up in the 80s you could do that, but not anymore.
Now they kind of know what they got.
They could have a piece of junk and they want a restored price for it.
Right. They
don't know what to do with it.
And really they don't know the value of them.
No.
You know, they have no idea. And I run into people all the time who's got cars parked behind the buildings, parked here, parked there. And, you know, they think, well, we see all these old cars on the roads and all now. It says, that thing's worth $10,000 and it might be worth $1,000. Because correct. It's, you know, they don't realize how much work you got to put in it to get it back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you can buy one for $1,000 and spend $25,000 on it getting it fixed.
Yeah. Now, this one, you redone the top and everything on it?
Everything.
Now, where do you find the tops and all for these cars?
There's a guy in Massachusetts that builds upholstery kits and top kits, a whole assembly. You can buy the whole assembly already, put it on right there and snap it on.
And it's ready to go.
Ready to go.
I know back then, you know, they didn't worry about leaking a little bit, but these, you know, it ain't like they are nowadays.
No, you're going to get wet. If you get caught in rain, you're going to get wet.
It's gonna come. Water's gonna come somewhere.
That's right.
But it's really the convertibles was the thing back then. Everybody wanted them.
Well, not necessarily. They bought them because they were a little cheaper than the hardtops.
And nowadays you buy a convertible and it costs more than a hardtop.
That's right. Yep, turned around.
And the Model A's. I mean, your collection is just. I mean, it's just awesome. And you know, I wonder when I look at all these. And ladies and gentlemen, you kind of. Greg is panned some, and Chris is panned some down through here. I mean, as far as you can see, Model A's. And you wonder, the wheels. You got perfect wheels on them, perfect everything on them, and you kind of, where do you get all them at? How can you find all them wheels and stuff?
Wheels was hard to find, but they just come out with new ones. They want $250 a wheel for them.
For replicas.
Yeah, but they're identical.
And did they come out making them because so many people is rebuilding these cars?
Right. Yeah, there's too much demand for the wheels. You just got to where you can't find decent wheels.
And you don't see a lot of them at car shows and all. You see them, you have to go to a real antique car show.
That's right.
To actually see one of these.
Anymore, used to back in the 70s and 80s, there were lots of Model A's. But generations like different things that they grew up with. And older folks like myself are just, you know, still hanging on to the Model A.
Now, what size motor and all has this one got in it?
It's got 40 horsepower.
Now, how fast this will run? Wide open.
It'll run about 60, 65.
And see, that was moving back in 31. I mean, that ain't slow in 31. It's a whole lot faster than a horse.
Well, you run a Model A 40, 45 mile an hour, it'll last if you run it up on the high end. It's just splash oiling system, and they just won't hold up.
So you got to take a little care with them.
That's right.
This one running a 4-speed, or got the old
It's
standard?
three-speed.
Oh, standard 3-speed. So most all these are original.
All of them are original. All these cars are.
How often you get to drive them?
Well, some of them haven't been cranked up in 10, 15 years, I guess.
But they'll fire right off.
Well, yeah, you'd have to play with them a while after they sit that long. Put a battery in them and clean the carburetors.
And they're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
And carburetor ain't gonna take him long to clean carburetor because he knows it backwards and forwards. Tell you what, Roy, good looking vehicle. Hey, don't go nowhere. Look here, I got a selection of oodles of them. I like that truck. We're going to do that truck in a minute because that is the prettiest truck I've laid 2 eyes on. So we're going to do the truck in a minute. We got one that was actually built for Henry Ford II in here. Tons of them. You don't want to go nowhere. We'll be right back. Nolans Glass and Framing, Quintard Avenue, right across from Ron Newton. Tell you what, you guys with the old cars, any kind of windshields, he can get them. No matter what year it is. Well, going back to the 50s, he can get your windshields. Tinted windows, he tints windows. He's really the glass man. He can do anything. The framing part comes in, you storefronts. He repaints the glass on the storefronts. He frames up the glass on the storefronts. He does about anything. He'll go to Pale City, Talladega. He'll go anywhere. Call him today. Call Guy today. Make sure you talk to Guy. Tell him Barry Miller from Big Boyz Toyz told you to call. You know, a lot of people, when you say molded carpet, they don't know what you're talking about. Auto Custom Carpet right here on Noble Street, downtown Anniston. Ken Hell and his staff, they have molded carpet for your vehicle. Molded carpet means it fits right in your vehicle. Pre-cut, all you have to do is pick out the color, tell them to make of the car, go in there on Monday, order that carpet. Guess what? Towards the end of the week, they'll be calling you to pick it up. Go home, it will lay right in that car. Any type car made, they have it right there at Auto Custom Carpet. Go by today or call and tell them Barry Miller from Big Boyz Toyz sent you by. You know, there comes a time in our lifetime when all of us have legal matters that come up, and we don't know which way to turn or what to do. I've got the answer. Warren Freeman, attorney at law in Delta, Alabama, has experience in criminal law, jury trials, automobile accident cases, and even divorces. Warren has appeared in many of the area courtrooms and is respected by all of his peers. So give Warren a call today for any of your legal matters. If I was going to court tomorrow, I would want Warren standing right beside me. Give him a call today. Tell him Barry Miller told you to call. Here's Fred again. Hey, Fred.
Hey.
52 Chevrolet Convertible, like I told you. Don't go nowhere the rest of this week and next week. You don't want to miss any of these cars. Tell me about this one.
Well, this is a 52 Chevrolet Convertible. It's one of those makes and models of cars that Dad's always enjoyed, and was looking for one for a long time when he found this one. He bought this car unrestored in the early 80s, and it was originally this blue color. He since restored it at his restoration shop later on, but this is one of those cars that he did sell before he ever restored it. Really regretted selling it, and in fact it went to an auction in Pennsylvania, and he had somebody go up there and bid on it and bought it back and brought it back to Alabama.
He didn't want to travel, so he just sent somebody.
He sent somebody to bid on it and buy it back, and he was fortunate to get it back, and had a good body on it. And they did a frame-off restoration of this car. It has the original 6-cylinder engine in it with a Power Glide automatic transmission in it. He never really has shown this car. He drives it. Even though he did a frame-off restoration on it, he built this car to drive. And he's enjoyed it a lot. We've used it in numerous parades, so it's a good parade car. And it's a good driver, too. He's driven this car all over the Southeast. I think you'll hang on to this one for
Does he do a lot of his interior work, too? Or?
He does not do the interior work. Most of the interiors in these cars were done in South Carolina, actually, so there's another state he gets involved with. But good friend of his over there who has since retired has done the upholstery in most of these cars and did the upholstery in this one. It's a good car, and it's a lot of fun to drive. It does have a few accessories on it, you know, deluxe bumper guards and fender skirts and some things on the interior, a deluxe steering wheel, and that's hard to come by. And but he digs these parts up, You know, this car here, had probably been collecting parts for a number of years before he ever got around to building it.
Does he rebuild the motors every time he frames off? He goes through
Everything is
everything?
done, yeah. Every nut and bolt on the cars are done, and so they're better than new when they're restored. And so this one's been built now for since the late 1980s, still going strong.
That's already, 20 years old since he restored it.
Pretty close.
Paint now looks brand new.
Yeah, still looks good, and I believe that's a lacquer paint that's on that car, and holds up well. And they say he has put quite a few miles on this one.
Every car you've been up here, I'd love to drive, just on a Sunday evening, go somewhere.
Well, he's told myself and my brothers on numerous occasions if we want to get one of them out, one of his drivers out, and enjoy it, we're welcome to it, but it kind of makes you nervous to get out on the highways with them, but sometimes we take him up on that.
You don't worry about you driving, you worry about somebody hitting that car.
That's
And
exactly
if they do,
right.
you're going to say, what am I going to tell my daddy?
Well, he's pretty partial to them, but he is not afraid to get out and drive them himself, and so we do get them out and exercise them a little bit. You know, older model car such as this has hydraulic brakes and automatic transmission. The best thing for it is to be driven.
Yeah, you need to drive them.
Right. You don't want them to sit too long. And
Every time I got a 75 Corvette. If I let it sit over a month without cranking it, moving it, something happens.
and we have that here. Some of them will sit for a while, and we want to get it out, and we got to work on it a little bit. Usually charge a battery or what have you, and get it going. But this one here is pretty faithful. It'll usually start for us.
It's ready to go. Tell you what, Fred, good looking vehicle. We got
Yes,
we got another Ford convertible coming up, and then we got a Model A that's special to Fred. But Fred, tell you what, you people watching, it's over. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but Fred's going to LSU Alabama ball game.
That's right.
We'll be right back. Keach Optical, right here on Quintard Avenue. They're across from Amco Transmission on Quintard. I tell you what, the staff in their place are second to none. Hearing aids, they have hearing tests in there. They got hearing aids in there. And glasses, he's got any kind of glasses you want. He has the type like I wear, it has no frame on it. He has these with the clip on it for sunglasses, just about anything. They have a doctor on staff that can do your prescription, and they also, the hearing test right there, they do it right there in the place and get your hearing aid today. Most turnaround on the glasses, they say turnaround's about 24 hours, maybe 2 days at max, turn around your glasses. He puts a 10 in them. He does anything right there. So go by there and tell him Barry Miller from Big Boyz Toys sent you by. Hey everybody, Barry Miller from Big Boyz Toys. M&L Auto Repair, right there on 78, right across from the Quick Meds. Tell you what, Manuel and his staff can do anything that's known to be done to a car, they can do it. Tell you what, he's the specialist around here on carburetors. All you guys got these old street rods and all, or you got some of the old cars, the carburetor ain't running right, he rebuilds Quadrojets, Hollies, just about anything. He's a Jasper engine dealer, and he has Jasper engines and transmissions. Also, they're TechNet professionals. They're members of the TechNet, so that means they're good. They do about anything, and when they rebuild a motor for you, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a difference. That motor's going to look different when they rebuild it. They put their special touch on that engine before you pick it up. So go by and see Manuel or one of the staff at M&L Automotive and tell them Barry Miller from Big Boyz Toys sent you by. Hey, you opening a new office? Got an existing office, you want to spruce it up a little bit? Go by Crawford Office Supply right here on Noble Street in Anniston. He has new and scratch and dent office furniture. Any type of furniture you want is in Crawford Office Supply. He has office supplies for any office, any type of paperwork, pens, pencils, you name it, it's right there. Coming soon, 25,000 square foot building right over there on Layton Avenue. Brand new building. All types of office furniture, you name it, it'll be there. Go by there and tell him Barry Miller from Big Boyz Toys sent you by. Next vehicle, 1931 Ford Deluxe Roadster. Hello, Fred.
Hey,
All right, this is one of your favorites. Tell me about it.
this is one of my favorites. This is a 31 Deluxe. It's a stone brown color, and what makes it so special to me is the first Model A Ford my father ever restored was one just like this in the early 1960s. In fact, when you go in the showroom, there's a photo on the wall of Dad polishing on that car, and myself and my two brothers, much smaller at the time, standing next to him as